I'm at the premiere of Take It Back. This is a mob crime series. And I'm really excited about it because we have so many different actors. And I've been told by both Phil and I've been told by Rocco that this is a totally different type of mob series. So I'm going to probe tonight in my interviews and find out how different it is, what makes it different, and we're going to learn a lot tonight about Take It Back. I'm here with Rocco Goryeo. Rocco, this is incredible. You are an executive producer. You are one of the writers. You're an actor. I can't believe all the things you're doing here.
I know. You know what? I feel like tomorrow can end, so I got to do everything right now. You know what I mean? So it's nonstop. But you know what? I got started with this story basically because I want to focus on how the levels of things are taking off, which mean like most mafia stories, they just film inside bars, this and that, and they never really explain the detail of why people become dons, why this guy gets made. This story explains every detail, and you're going to watch how they rise.
And I like that. I want to talk about the title because I know you're a very big fan of Rocky,
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone,
Yeah.
and his dog, who is named Take It Back.
Yeah. Take It Back, the reason I named it is because of Sylvester Stallone. I love the idea of what he did with Rocky. He never gave up the story. He stayed focused with it. Even though he was offered millions of dollars, he still never gave it up until he got his part as Rocky. You know, it's kind of the same feeling with this. A lot of people told me it would never happen. I should quit. Don't do this. I'm stupid for doing it. But you know what? Just hearing how Stallone did with Rocky, I said, if he did it, I could do it. Especially, I got the name Rocky. I got to do it.
You got to do it. And Winston Churchill said you must never give up,
Can't give
no
up.
matter what. This is your dream.
Absolutely.
But I also want everybody to know that by age 21, you were a firefighter.
Yep.
This was another one of your goals.
Yes.
And you were also a Golden Glover, which my dad was.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, you know what? It's been my goal and dream since I was 5 years old. It's a family tradition with the fire department thing, so I fought really hard to get there too. But it's always been a passion to be involved in acting. I want to get my name out there with Hollywood. So I said, you know what? What's the best way to do it? You got to do the hard work. So that's why me and my cousin got together. We wrote this story. We did everything. And you know what? We didn't even go to school for it. We learned as we went.
That's incredible. Like he said, the school of life.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? Honestly, it's just learning from the streets, learning from things out there, watching the great films, and just processing everything. And you just keep going.
Now let's talk about Gino, the role that you're playing.
Yeah.
I want to hear some of the good about Gino as well.
Well, Gino's a character. He's best friends with Lorenzo. He grew up with Lorenzo since they were kids. But Gino's also got a very good heart. He's looking out for his cousin right now, putting basically his reputation on the line because his cousin has a very bad background, which doesn't relate to Gino's ways. But family's family, and you can't turn your back on blood. So the fact is that Gino's taking a chance with Mike. Mike's taking a chance with Gino. Lorenzo's taking a bigger chance because he runs a family over here.
And what about Al? Al's in jail.
Yeah, and Uncle Al's in jail right now. So Lorenzo's kind of earning his respect right now at a very young age. And he's getting everything way earlier than he was supposed to. So it's kind of like a big mix right now. And picture everybody in a blender, and it's just one big mix going on.
Do you have some humor in here too?
I have some humor. You definitely have some humor in this
With
thing.
Phil. Phil is funny.
Oh,
and he
Phil.
said the two of you balance each other. How
Yeah.
so?
Well, you know what? It's kind of like a yin-yang or a black and white cookie. You know, obviously the two of us are so opposite, but you have that two mix. So, you know, he has his humor in his way, which everyone's going to be laughing, and I have my humor in my way. I mean, you know what? After the end of the film, I promise everybody's going to be craving for more.
Oh, I can't wait for this. I got to let you go because people are getting excited. They want to go in to see this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm here with Phil Locastro, whom I just found out has one of the best sense of humor ever.
That's true. You wouldn't be lying if you said that. You're 100% right.
So cute. Now, you are one of the creators. You're an executive producer. I know that you edit because when I spoke to you, you were still editing.
And I wrote it with my cousin, too. Me and Rocco, we wanted to try to do something where every title would have our name in it. I think we succeeded.
You're a pip. I want to talk about why this is such a different type of mob story as compared with others, because you made a point of saying it's different.
Well, the difference is this is kind of like two stories running at once. You have the mob aspect on one end, and then you have the aspect where my character, Mike, whose daughter is sick with cancer.
Yeah, she's sick, right, Victoria.
Victoria, yeah, she's sick. So he's trying to do whatever he can to raise money to take care of her. But at the same time, he gets he gets in way over his head with the mafia, and just all hell starts to break loose.
So it's not what he expects.
not at all what he expects. He thought, because Mike, the character Mike, is a kid that was from the street. He thought there's nothing that could happen to him that he hasn't seen yet. So when he got into that, it was something that he never knew before. It was just something totally new. It was completely in over his head, and things start happening. But the difference that Rocco tried to explain, how this story is something that's never been told before. It's like you see every character start from the ground up. You see even the boss of the family that I end up working with, he just got into that position. He wasn't, he's not a made man for 20 years. He's a guy that he's our age, and he just gets thrown into this position, and he's also trying to, make something happen.
And make it. Okay. So we see a compassionate father.
Right.
We see somebody who's trying to help, somebody's trying to achieve, but it gets in over his head.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm going to look for when I'm watching you on the screen. Now, in your personal life, you were a producer. Were you really a rapper?
Yes, I was.
Good, because I'm putting you on the spot. Go for it.
No. I don't want to rap right now. I produce hip hop beats.
Do
I
you?
rap
No,
for a
tell me
long
about
time.
it.
Yeah. No, for a long time I did rap music. I still do sometimes, and I produce hip hop, and I do mixing and mastering, stuff like that. But from the time I was like 15 years old until even now, I still work on music. So, but now I'm in film mode. I have some music on the soundtrack down here.
I knew it would have that. I do want to ask you too about your dedication, because I know that you hurt your foot, you broke some bones, and you continued on. You know what? People think it's all beautiful things, but tell us about the hardships.
We were shooting a scene where one of the characters, Paul, was getting beat up by us, and we were supposed to be pretending to stomp him out on the floor, and I was stomping into the ground. I notoriously have a bad right foot, so after that it hurt, and I thought that nothing was wrong. I woke up the next day, I couldn't even stand up. I fractured 3 bones in my foot.
And you didn't know it?
No, I just thought, we were going on basically fumes at this point. We were just working and working, so I was tired. So I thought that nothing was wrong. But we still had about 5 days left to shoot. So for the rest of the shoot, I was walking around on a foot that was broken. If you could watch some of the scenes. If you watch me walk now and then watch me walk, you could tell.
I am going to.
I was sitting in a chair until they called action, waiting, just saving the time that I was able to put on my foot.
What dedication.
We
I'm
had to
going to
get it
ask
done.
you something, Phil, because I know you've been working up to the last minute.
Right.
What have you learned about yourself through this experience, honestly?
Honestly, a lot of the stuff that I learned with the limits that I could push myself to, I knew I was capable of it from the music stuff that I've done. But with this, my cousin is such a tenacious person that it's like we absolutely have deadlines. Stuff has to get done now, because if it was left up to me, I'd be like, tomorrow's a good day. We'll finish it then. With him,
you have a lot of humor, so you balance each other.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely the perfect balance between me and my cousin.
Last question. Did you know that you would end up on a red carpet being interviewed for your movie and your show, I should say, series?
I would be lying if I told you that I ever thought in a million years that this, from the time we started to right now, I would be lying if I said yes. My cousin, I got to give him a lot of credit for telling. My cousin, he dreams big. I'm kind of more realistic, where I'm like, everybody puts these time limits on things, and I go with it. But in life, when you just do something and go for it, that's the only way it gets done.
So my point here is that dreams do come true.
They absolutely
I can't wait to see this. I'm real excited, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry.
I'm with the beautiful Amber Lynn, who has just come in from
Los Angeles.
Couldn't believe it, from LA.
Actually, on a red eye this morning, I came in at 6 a.m. It was an amazing flight, and I've had a wonderful time ever since I hit ground here.
I heard you're all over the place.
We've been busy getting ready. We're so excited to be here tonight for the premiere
Now
of
I
Take
have
It
to
Back.
share with our audiences so many things that you're doing, and I want you to think about and answer this. How do you get all of these things done? Let me just share a little bit. If you see her, she's gorgeous, modeling and bathing suit model. You give back to charities. You help different people. You have your own radio show, actress, and I think you even didn't you sell for houses?
Yes. That was actually one of my business. I did it at a different time in my life. I got out of the entertainment and acting industry for a while because I was in a relationship and I wanted to dedicate myself full time to my relationship and being at home with my family. And I went into real estate and real estate law, and I wanted to try something different. And here I am, back in the entertainment ends of things again.
You never know where life's going to end up, right?
Yes. And I do try to give back. I've been that way ever since I was growing up. And I am a philanthropist and advocate for child welfare. And I love to work with children's charities and animals charities anytime I get a chance.
Let's talk a little bit about your role. What do you hope to bring to it, and how are you going to get that across?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that I am honored to have been cast in this wonderful TV series. And I was introduced by the actor and one of the leads in the show, Peter Goryeo. And he introduced me to the executive producers. They said, "We have a role for you in mind. Would you like to do it?" And I said, "I would love to." They told me I would be playing the girlfriend confidant of a mob boss. And how did I feel about that? Did I have any reservations? And I said, "Which family?" So it's not something that, I haven't sort of dabbled in my life, I must say. And
She's so very refreshing, because I love the kind of...
who wouldn't want to,
Right?
play the girlfriend and confidant of the handsome Peter Goryeo? I mean, come on. You know
This is
what I mean?
sweet.
I'm certainly not going to be suffering.
All right, now, do I understand that the two of you have a fitness video coming up?
We have a fitness and supplement video that we're working on right now. That's actually how it began. And then we've got several different projects we're going to be working on this year. Not only this series, we have 2 feature films that are about to go into production right now, and also another TV series that we will be working on. And we have a children's charity that we're putting together, a benefit that will be a coast to coast, a bi-coastal event.
I would love to be involved
we
in
haven't
that. Mentioned your radio show.
My radio show is Rockin' Sexy Uncensored. It is on Thursday nights on LA Talk Radio. Out of Los Angeles, we broadcast to a worldwide audience. We do music, fame, and sex, obviously sexy. And we have mainstream actors, we have musicians, rock stars, and beautiful women. So we're going to have to get you on my show.
Thank you. Did you just have Corey Feldman on?
We had Corey Feldman and Corey's Angels. He's actually been on several times.
Right.
We've had everybody from Dennis Rodman to Ron Jeremy to CeCe Peniston.
Well, I would be delighted to come on. I can't wait to see you again. And I want to thank you, sweetheart.
I'm going to give you.
Thank you.
One, okay.
I'm here with the debonair, Peter Goryeo, and Amber is so excited. She just shared some of the wonderful projects that you'll be doing.
Yes, that's exactly right. We're very excited that Amber made the trip in from Los Angeles, and I'm very excited to be at this event. We worked long and hard, endless hours with Rocco Goryeo and Phil Locastro, the writers, executive producers, and they're starring in the series. And we're all very excited that this is going to happen this evening.
And I understand that Take It Back is going to be involved in a huge charity, coast to coast. Peter, I want to get involved with that too.
Well, you can, Gail, and Shelley just mentioned something to me, and we're all going to get involved, and we're going to do future projects together.
Well, he said Amber actually said it's going to be helping. I don't know who.
What's that?
Amber said it's going to be a charity.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it
Are
is.
you allowed to talk about it or not yet?
No, I'd rather not discuss it at this time.
Okay, I understand that. Let's talk about your character.
Okay.
Do you go to jail? Are you in jail?
Yes, I'm in prison, and
Okay.
for known reasons.
Right.
And I have my nephew out there on the street. I play Al Bonatelli, Uncle Al.
Is that Lorenzo?
That's Lorenzo, played by Nicholas Calhoun, who's a fabulous actor from Boardwalk Empire. And we all love Nicholas with all our heart.
Well, we love you, but I want to say,
thank you.
but I have to say this. When you are helping somebody from afar, as your character is, you have to give him advice from a man to a child.
Absolutely right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What advice do you give him, and what advice do you think is significant if you had a son you'd give to your son?
Well, you have to start from the bottom of the barrel, and you have to get your hands dirty. And that's why you appreciate it a lot more than just paying someone to do for a job. And then you're not going to respect it, and you're not going to care if it doesn't work out for you. But when you actually get your hands dirty, then...
It's so true.
Yes,
It's
it
like
is.
giving somebody a car, No, they have to work for it, then
You
they
have to work for it.
appreciate it.
Absolutely right.
I love that. And that's the advice that you give Lorenzo.
Yes, I do. And he's doing a hell of a job out there, and everybody in the neighborhood is waiting for my return.
Now, I mentioned to Amber how beautiful her body is. You too. And I understand that you take care of what you eat, but you're not obsessive about it.
I keep everything in moderation, because we're all human, and, you enjoy the holidays. But basically, all year long, I watch, because there's all different roles coming on, and I'm a competitive bodybuilder. And
Now, what are you and Amber going to do? She said something about a fitness.
yes, we have a fitness video that's going to be released at the end of the year in 2015. It's fitness training, it's nutrition, it's anti-aging, it's supplementation.
I'm going to check that out.
And Amber Lynn is going to reveal her secrets that she's been exercising for 30 years.
Wow, it's
And
fabulous.
she looks absolutely stunning here this evening.
Gorgeous.
And we're all very happy to have her here tonight.
Now, very quick, to wrap this up, Rocco and Phil, what do you want to say to them?
I love them with all my heart. From the first moment I went in on the audition, we just clicked. We just clicked when I went in on the audition. And Rocco and I and Phil, we became very, very close. And they're actually family to me. And I know that, I'm family to them. And I just love them with all my heart.
I want to thank you so much. It's always a pleasure seeing
Thank you, Gail.
I love it.
Thank you for having me. Give me a second.
All right.
Okay, I'm Peter Goryeo. I'm playing Al Bonatelli, Uncle Al. And this is...
Amber Lynn, and I'm going to be playing Carla Benjamin, aka Cash.
What do you want us to know about your characters?
Well, Carla and I, we were neighborhood sweethearts when we were growing up together in the old neighborhood. And, and with the Italian culture, you can't marry someone outside your culture, because you want to have children and you want your boy to take over the industry that you're involved in.
And so naturally, Carla is not a full-blooded Italian in the show, and so they cannot actually marry. But they do remain partners, and
Right.
she is like his right arm confidant female, and they're best friends. And he looks out for her and makes sure she's all right, and she's involved in business with him.
Right.
And he trusts her. They trust each other implicitly.
So what I'm hearing is compassion, understanding, and respect for one another.
Yes.
And there's also a great natural chemistry that occurs between us, between Peter and I naturally,
Right.
that we want to be able to bring to life on the screen.
Yeah, you can't lie. When that camera, you see that camera? That camera picks up everything, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does.
I love it.
Great.
Thank
Okay,
you
good.
so much.
Thank you for having us, Gail.
I'm standing with the debonair, Artie Pasquale.
Debonair, wow.
Debonair, Artie.
Thank you very much. And the beautiful Gail.
Go, thank you. Now, Artie, you were in the HBO series The Sopranos,
Yeah.
and you played Bert Gervasi.
Right.
And you're playing a different role tonight. How are they similar? How are they different?
Well, it's not that. It's different in a sense where in this movie I'm a boss, and with the Sopranos I wasn't. But they're different in the sense that the HBO special, the Sopranos was a major, maybe the best television show ever. Unlimited funds. This has been being done by a couple of young guys who are really putting a lot of enthusiasm and effort, and they really are working hard. It's a pleasure being part of it, as well as with some of the other people.
Well, I'm excited because both Phil and Rocco told me that this is unlike any other mob series show. Have you found that to be the case?
Yeah, well, it's a lot about family, and it's like bringing back the old days versus what's going on in new days. It's not a typical mob thing. As a matter of fact, I try to get away from some of that. I get stereotyped, but it's a nice script, a nice story, and it's a pleasure being part of it.
What I'm excited about, Art, is that we have something in common. We were both teachers. You in history or social studies?
Yeah, originally I was a history teacher and then phys ed, and I was a coach for a long time, basketball coach, always involved in sports. And I think, as I mentioned to you before, I think it's really helped me in acting when it comes to performing or being in front of a crowd, being in front of students, always trying to get the best out of somebody,
So is it safe to say that if you did not go into acting, when you were in Rhode Island, you might have ended up state professional player for baseball?
I don't know. It's a difficult challenge, but it's just like acting. It's a challenge, You have to persevere, be resilient, and it applies to sports as well. Yeah.
What was the most challenging aspect of the series thus far?
Of The Sopranos?
Yes.
Well, I just think that it was overwhelming initially, to say you're part of it. But being under James Gandolfini, who is a terrific person, anything you hear about him is the truth. And being around those people and just seeing things done at such a quality level, I really learned them. I was lucky. A lot of people wanted to be like
No, he's not lucky. He's just very, very talented.
No, I was lucky, but I appreciate it. And I appreciate it. And I do a lot of things, benefits.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that because, my show, Looking to Make a Difference with Gail, and I'm always on the lookout for people who are making a difference in the lives of others. And you said you get together with other actors from The Sopranos and you help in different charities. Clarify that a little bit.
Yeah, like March of Dimes or kids who have different challenges. The Sopranos will be called upon, to maybe be part of it. One night we had bowling with The Sopranos, and it was a benefit. And
How good a bowler are you?
Whether you're a good bowler or not, it doesn't matter. You're there, people come, and the money goes to that particular charity, and it's my pleasure to do that.
I have to laugh because as a former Miss Senior America, I had to do a bowling marathon in a gown.
Marathon, wow.
In a gown, and I think I bowled 54.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
But we raise money, we have good times, be a good sport, and enjoy it. All right, what advice do you have for somebody out there who really does want to get into the field of acting? It's difficult, right?
Yeah, very difficult. But like I said, the two key words, I tell everybody this, is perseverance and resilience. And you have to be able to accept no every now and then. People think you're just going to audition for something. But if you get one job out of 15 or 20, that's considered pretty good. But hang in there and hang in there and hang in there. Work at your craft. Take some classes. Do a few student films maybe. And, you'll develop the skill and eventually catch a break.
Well, you're charming. I am so happy I had a moment to speak with you.
Well, my pleasure. Thanks for asking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm here with Steve Mason. How are you?
I'm very good. Yourself?
We're terrific. We're just talking how we're both Long Islanders.
We are, indeed.
And what
We were enemies, don't forget that.
Wait, we're not enemies. Well, Patchogue, Sachem. I taught at Sachem. But you know what I wanted to talk to you about?
What did you want to talk to me about?
Okay. What I understand is that you are a big believer in things happen because they're supposed to happen through a conviction and because of God,
sure.
Not because it's accidental. But what I want to go back and clarify is that originally you might have gone into singing.
Yes,
but
classically trained as a singer first.
What kind of training? Tell me about.
Classical as opera.
Wow.
Basso profundo. The lowest of the basses.
Now, I understand that you had an accident or you had surgery.
Kind of a freak accident that landed me in a hospital. I was in a coma. Both my lungs collapsed at the same time, and yeah.
And this changed your whole life.
Yes, it did.
Okay, so how did you end up in acting? I know your dad, you found out, was an actor as a child.
After he died, I had found out found his resume and found his union card, and it was kind of interesting. But just to quickly answer that, I couldn't sing anymore after they accidentally cut my vocal cord as they were saving my life. So I was alive, but I couldn't sing anymore. And excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold. But anyway.
Does that mean I'm going to get one?
You could. If you kiss me, you probably will. You probably will. No, but somebody said you have to get that out. That energy that's in you has to come out. Why don't you try acting? And
that's how it happened.
That's how it started, yes.
Wow. Now, I know you've been on different shows.
Yes.
You've been in Blue Bloods?
Blue Bloods, yes.
Yeah, I got called in for an audition for Steve Wahlberg's partner's mom. How's that?
Very nice. There you go.
I didn't get it. What advice would you give me the next audition I go on? And this is for other actors as well.
The audition is the hardest part of the job, without a doubt. And you have to get in the moment and really own the audition. And it's not the easiest thing to do at the lower levels, the middle level, or even the higher levels. You hope you get to a point where you don't have to audition anymore. So you can go and you can perform and do what we do as performers. The auditioning is the hard part, it is.
What is your training as an actor?
I've been through several schools and several coaches, and probably one of my favorite was Tom Todoroff, who sits on the board at Juilliard. He's an amazing man and an amazing coach. He was my coach for quite some time. So, and life is probably my biggest
That's
training.
your biggest training.
Sure.
Right.
A lot of times it's just being who you are.
You have, which is difficult because when you're acting, you're taking on a semblance of somebody else, which leads me to also ask, when do you leave that behind and become yourself again?
That would be the answer my girlfriend would probably give us best. When I'm out and performing, that's what I do. I perform. When I come home, I'm me. So I have
Difficult to shake it?
I'm sorry, say again?
Difficult to shake that persona?
More difficult to be me than to be somebody else.
And that's one of the reasons I think a lot of people go into acting.
Sure, absolutely.
What did you learn about yourself through acting? Because if that's the case, then you had to learn something about Steve.
Well, one thing I would say that I learned is that because Halloween is my favorite holiday, so it's the one day that I'm not the only one wearing a mask.
Love it. Very
Right?
good.
So I
All
wear a
right.
mask every day.
Tell me about your character
On
that you're
the
playing in the
show,
show.
I was originally cast as an FBI guy, which is a small part, until one of the leads had to take another job and couldn't work it. So they screen tested me, and it fell into place. Again, divine. Yes, exactly.
Okay. But I'll tell you what, your voice is still fabulous.
Thank you. I mean, I had 2 vocal surgeries and 7 years of therapy, and I have my chops back. Not fully, but you know what? What's meant to be will be, and that's pretty much what we do.
Well, I want to thank you so much. I can't wait to see this tonight.
Thank you very much.
Cold or no cold, I'm going to give you a hug.
There you go.